Coach's Show live from Glory Days Grill in Falls Church. I'm Bill Rohland, along with the head coach of the George Mason Patriots, Kim English. Coach, thank you for joining us again. And last week we previewed you had 3 games coming up. Talked about trying to go 3-0. You said, no, 1-0 is what we're working on. But as we sit here today, congratulations. Not sure I'll be able to say this too many more times in your coaching career. You are undefeated as a head coach after 3 games so far. So congratulations on that, Coach.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really proud of our guys for their effort. They executed at a high level. But like everything, there's always areas for improvement. And, we spent each day after every one of those games breaking down that film. We call it scrubbing it out and moving on to the next. And we're doing that right now and have a great test on Wednesday night in College Park.
Yeah, we'll talk about Maryland. We'll talk about James Madison, the 2 games coming up this week a little bit later on the show. We'll get to each of these individual games, but I just want to throw a couple things out here, and I know you're a guy, you don't like to dwell in the moment. No, you talk about not celebrating stuff.
No, let's do it.
First time, 3-0 at home for the first time since the 2010-11 season, that Mason won their first 3 home games by double digits. That was a team that people will remember won 16 straight, went to the NCAAs that year. They went 14-0 at home, and they won their first 6 that year by 10-plus points. So you're in pretty good company already starting out. That's the team that won the game against Villanova. 3 games into the season already, you have 6 players averaging over 8 points a game. 4 of them are in double digits. 4 of the guys, including your 6'1" point guard, who will be here with us tonight later on, Xavier Johnson, are getting 5 rebounds or more a game. It's been a total group effort. You've preached this since day one, that there's no one guy, there's no go-to guy. It's got to be everybody. It's been everybody.
Yeah, it's who we are, and that's it's something I've always believed, that you don't rise to the occasion, right? You fall to the level of your preparation consistently. So I'm not very emotional on the sidelines offensively. I may get a little emotional defensively, but I see them make shots every day. I see them execute and grab strong 2-hand rebounds every day. We work on defensive rebounding every day. So when those guys get open shots, I expect them to go in. When we're rebounding, it's a gang effort. We gang rebound, we swarm to the ball. Possession is king. Possession is king in this game.
You're 26 through 3 games, 26 in the NCAA in field goal percentage at 54%, whatever, the 54 point, whatever it is. Surprised that the 3 games went as well as they did? I can't imagine that in your wildest dreams you would have thought first 3 games of the season you win by 20-plus points.
It's maybe it's boring for a coach's show, but it's really not what the goal is or the focus is. As I'm grading film, I think the lead was 22 and someone was diving on the floor for a loose ball. I remember late in the game yesterday, we were up maybe 31, and Davon Cooper caught an inbound pass with one hand, and I just said, catch the ball with 2 hands. Like it's really about the process for us. And when you do what you're supposed to do more times than not, and in these first 3 games, we had better players. We have better players. So when we have better players and we consistently stack good possessions, those big scoring margins will happen, right? As the players' talent level even out, it just needs to be enough to keep them beneath 40% from the field, to have us out-rebound them by 8, to keep them from making no more than 6 threes, from keeping them off the offensive board. Now it comes to us achieving our game goals, and that will give us more points than them at the end of the night. But this time of the year, I wouldn't say I went into it saying we need to beat these teams by 20. The goal is to win, right? And for us, it's obviously to win the game, but it is truly to win possessions, and that is the message to the guys. It's the most important thing because it's the only thing you can control.
Right.
You can't control winning the game when the ball is tossed up. You just can win that possession.
You have 5 different guys that have at least 2 blocks on this season, and you don't have the big high-flying shot blocker that you would equate with a team that blocks shots, but you've got a bunch of guys that have been able to use their length and get block shots. Even the freshman Blake Jones, who's played limited minutes, he's got a couple blocks, almost averaging a block a game. Is that part of the gang defense of a guy, if somebody starts to drive, where you're plugging the gaps, you're putting big hands up at the rim and challenging guys to make shots over you, and just happen to get some block shots?
It's effort. It's effort, and we have a goal of contesting every shot. We've never practiced blocking shots ever. I honestly, throughout my time in basketball, I usually equate good shot blockers to a bad defense, because the question is why are they constantly at the rim shooting shots to get blocked? So it's for me, it's about our guys are playing hard. The blocks that stick out in my mind, even last night, the first play of the game for them was a block shot by Ticket, but it was a very bad defensive possession for us. So that kind of shows you why was he at the rim shooting an uncontested layup, and Devontae Gaines came over and saved the possession. So we need to do a better job keeping teams out of the paint. Block shots aren't a thing. Block shots isn't a stat that I look at as it relates to our defense. I was very fortunate to coach a great shot blocker last year at Tennessee. He's with the Grizzlies now, Yves Pons, and he was spectacular. But generally, in the NBA, the leading shot blocker it's usually not on a great defensive team.
All right, let's do a rewind of the games from last week. First game, Stony Brook, you win at 74-52. 4 players in double figures. Again, we've talked about the consistency of this team. Oduro had 16. Gaines, though, Ticket Gaines, 9 points, 9 rebounds. You've been telling anybody who would listen that this kid was the real deal. Don't look at his stats from Tennessee. He's the real deal. After 3 games, do you think people are convinced that he's the real deal now? Yeah,
I hope so. I mean, I love him. I love watching him play. He's going to give you everything he has every night for the name on the front of the jersey. He can play all 5 positions on the court. He's a great teammate. He works really hard. He's making his 3-point shots, but it's what he does defensively and as a teammate. You know, that game against Stony Brook, he was so wound up. You know, he missed some easy tries at the rim where he could have had 11, 12, 13, 14 points. But he's a great teammate. You know, he's the first one congratulating Josh for Atlantic 10 Player of the Week this week. And and he's only a sophomore. And Mason fans are going to fall in love with Devontae Gaines over these next 3 seasons.
Other than getting drenched with water going into the locker room after the game, how did you celebrate victory number 1 in your coaching career?
It's not a strength of mine. I've never been great at those milestone moments, and I've looked back and I said, man, I wish I maybe should have smelled the roses a little bit more. But I was not in that frame of mind at all. I was going into that locker room ready to talk recovery and getting ready for Penn, quick turnaround. I'm stressing. They hadn't played a game in a season, and it was a surprise. But it was good. It was cool. It was great to see, and I'm really happy it happened. It was fun. It was fun.
And you had your daughters there at
daughters
the game as well, so that had to be a cool moment.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Interacting with them, having them here for those first 3 games, and courtside each game. It was great. I had them sign the stat sheet, so I'm going to get that framed, and I'll have that forever.
There you go. All right, the Penn game, 87-66. Josh Oduro, 9 of 11 from 2-point range in that game. Had some amazing post-ups. The thing that stuck out to me is Devon Cooper had 6 rebounds in game 1. He didn't get a single rebound in game 2, but it didn't matter. You guys still did it on the boards. Again, going back to the idea of, okay, he doesn't get 6 that game, but somebody else stepped up and got it. And that guy was Xavier Johnson, who ended up with 9 rebounds in that contest.
Yeah. So we obviously, when we're grading out our defensive rebound efforts, Coach Simpkins is in charge of that. It's you get more points, right? We really weight getting defensive rebounds heavily in our grading system. But we rate if you look to find your man. We rate if you physically body punch your man. We rate that equally as high as grabbing a rebound. So as long as our guys are grading out above what we require, it's fine. So, now if one of our big guys has 0 rebounds,
right,
that may be cause for concern. But sometimes you may be, defending or Ben Wallace type guy when all Josh Aduro needs to do is make sure he doesn't get it. You know, so for Davon Cooper, it's a plus if our guards are grabbing him, but it is a requirement and a standard that they're boxing out. So, you know, that tale is not always told in the stat sheet.
At one point in that game, you guys went on a 12-0 run in like less than 90 seconds. A bunch of flurries of threes, a three-point play. They call a timeout. You're out at midcourt waving to the crowd, trying to get everybody up. I'm not sure I've seen a head coach be that involved in trying to get the crowd excited, everything. Would that just heat of the moment type thing? Is that something you've done now as a head coach because you got caught up? Or was that kind of your role when you were an assistant at Colorado or Tennessee or whatever? Not necessarily a role, but the idea that you did that.
No, it was, you know, first of all, I'm so thankful for every person that has been in a seat these past 3 games. Like, I'm so thankful for taking your time out to come and support us. I don't really, the game is a blur, and I'm really focused on the court and the guys and the actions and listening to the other bench and listening to our bench. But I have felt Eagle Bank Arena get loud in games, and like it really can get loud. And with it not close to full capacity, I'm really starting to want and yearn a packed EBA. And in that moment, it was really loud. And I think it was after Jamal Hartwell 3, they called a timeout, and I just waved like my hand up as like let's go. And when I turned around, everyone was sitting down. And I'm like, get up, like, let's go, like, I want the band blaring something, the DJ playing AC/DC. I want it to be absolute pandemonium in that moment because, you know, the energy that gives to our players and how demoralizing it is for our opponent, you almost can't measure it on the Richter scale. And I've played in places that it's demoralizing, and I was very fortunate enough to play in a home place that gave us a great advantage. And it's not a doubt in my mind. You know, if we keep doing what we're supposed to do and winning the games that we're supposed to win and playing the right way, we'll get a packed EBA, and it's going to be loud and very intimidating for opponents.
It was after that game that you talked about in the post-game press conference that you don't stop grading the film because your team is up 20, that you don't turn off the last 3 or 4 minutes, and you're trying to get to those guys, the reserves that may not play a ton of minutes when they get in, it's still going to be graded. You're still going to look at the film. Do you think that's starting to get through to those guys? Because that's probably something new that they don't think that a mistake when you're up 20 in the last 90 seconds matters. You made a point. It does matter.
Well, I'll say it's new to TJ Gatson and Mike Gray because they're freshmen.
Right. They're
freshmen. They were really good high school players at Blue Ridge, at Episcopal. They had never played those minutes, right? They were the best players on their team. They were recruited to come play in the Atlantic 10. So they may not know, but now they know, right? They know, like through practice, through all of our practices, from the spring to the summer to the fall till our first game, every single possession of every single day was being evaluated. And through all those series of evaluations, that's how our rotation of 7 or 8 came to be. And I let guys know early on, it'd only be 7 or 8, maybe 9. Like, you know, a guy like Otis Frazier, who gets in and is incredibly productive in 9 minutes, is now working his way into the rotation solidly. And that's great. That's a player's job. Coaches want to win. And it's the job of players to make the coaches play them. So they weren't great against Penn, I feel like. It was a little sloppy, and it was still a little sloppy in moments last night. But they absolutely, Otis and Mike in particular, and TJ Gatson even, they took those minutes seriously and did a good job of producing. And as we watched film last night and early this morning, it was clear to see. Mike Gray had one of my favorite plays in the game in that moment, going to post double team and with high hands, not fouling, And he did exactly what we taught. You know, it's not your job as the trapper to steal the ball. It's your job to force a long hang time pass, and Ticket got the steal.
Right.
So that was a great play for Mike. He obviously made a three. He made a great baseline drive, baseline drift pass for an Otis Frazier three. He threw Joel Kabemba kind of an okay pass. You know, he stepped out of bounds on the side, but I'm kind of grading him in my mind right now. But yeah, I do value those minutes. We watch every single second of every single game.
All right, Morgan State coming off that win yesterday, 90-53. Slow start in that one, but a fantastic finish. You didn't have a field goal for the first 5 minutes, 0 for 6 from the field. You had 5 turnovers, and then you shoot nearly 60% from the field the rest of the game, including 15 three-pointers, which is the most, I think, at Eagle Bank in almost 20-some years. And you had Josh Oduro knock down 3 of them in the game. What switch got turned on after the first 5 minutes of that one?
You know, sometimes it takes just guys time to settle into the game. You got to think, we didn't get a chance to really practice after Penn. We had a walkthrough. And 2 teams defensively that play 2 completely different ways. If it was a normal situation where days in between games, we would have been able to get out on the court and simulate Morgan State's pressure. It's different. We would have been able to simulate how they gap strip with our, you know, tools we use, sticks and arms and pads, and we could have done things we could have had a segment in practice where we played a helter-skelter trapping defense to get those guys comfortable playing that way. Most basketball teams don't. You know, VCU does, St. John's does, South Carolina does, West Virginia does. Not many teams. So sometimes it takes guys sometimes to feel the game. You know, there weren't, you know, where you didn't score a field goal early, but Davon Cooper got a great look. Ticket missed a layup. Deshaun got a steal where he got right to the middle of the defense. If he was just strong and kicked out, it would have been a wide open shot. So, you know, but what I love the most about that is that our defense didn't suffer.
Right.
You know, we're not going into games saying we're going to make 15 threes. That's not a goal. Our goal is to take care of the ball and get great shots. But what is absolutely, you know, it does not matter what our offense does. We're going to guard. And they didn't get a field goal either.
Right.
And that's what, you know, we love to see. You know, we had a scrimmage. I don't think I can say who it was against, but we started off down 9-2. And we were playing good defense. They were making phenomenal shots. We were playing great offense, and we were missing great shots. And down 9-2, and we were on the road, and it's not a worry in the world. Right. It's about the actions that are leading to those results that are most important.
I'm not sure you consider it a negative, but a first time for you as a head coach. You got your nice little coach's box warning in that game yesterday. Do you want to? What was the conversation like? I asked one of the guys if you were yelling at them, and he said no, it wasn't anything about that. So what was that situation?
Yeah, I thought Josh Oduro was, and again, that crew, it's a Sunday night, so it's not a lot of games. We got a much more veteran crew, an ACC predominantly crew. Roger Ayers, who was one of the best officials in America. Jamie Luckey, who's been doing it forever. You know, I thought Josh Oduro was getting chucked a little bit on the post. I thought they were standing him up, and I thought they were starting to foul. And I'm just letting them know. And, yeah, it was fine. We had a conversation. We talked, and, you know, it was good. I have no issues, no quarrels.
You looked down a couple of times like you couldn't believe that they were talking about the coach's box.
Yeah,
like you're looking for the line.
I didn't know it was a literal box because just about no coach in the country never steps on the court. So I guess it's a literal box on the sideline. So now I know.
You figured it out. Yeah. All right, that's a good recap for the week. We will talk about Maryland and James Madison here coming up this week. First, though, we have to thank our sponsor of the show, SN Mortgage Company. The George Mason Basketball Coaches Show with Kim English is presented by SN Mortgage Company. SN Mortgage Company, start your journey home today. Security National Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender company, NMLS 3116. All right, big tests coming up this week. 2 days from now, nationally ranked Maryland. First road game for this team. on the season, other than your 2 scrimmages, of course. But
one scrimmage was on the road, yeah.
Okay.
One scrimmage.
And it wasn't in front of a screaming fans and everything else.
No,
yeah.
not even close. Not
so,
even close.
You're headed over there. There should be a good battle inside. Oduro's going to have a nice matchup with Wahab. I'm not sure if it's a guy. Has he mentioned if they matched up in high school? I know Wahab was at Flint Hill, and they weren't in the same league as Oduro played over at PBI. But has he told you about the big man? Does he know that much?
No,
sometimes the players are better scouts than you guys are.
You know, they will, and we'll talk to them about, you know, their players if it comes up in conversations. But we, as coaches, have a pretty good feel of the team. Back to Coach Simp. Coach Simp had Stony Brook. Nate had Penn. Coach Felton had Morgan State. Back to Coach Simpkins for this scout. We introduced them to Maryland this morning. Really exciting. Great and worthy opponent. Great venue for college basketball. And like you said, it's going to be our first road test as a group. And I've been kind of starting to get my mind together about outwardly talking about playing on the road. Now, you haven't ever mentioned playing on the road to this point, but you know the words we use tomorrow are going to be no different than our normal core values, right? What you need to do to win in college basketball just goes to another level when you're on the road, right? You have to really take care of the ball, right? You need to make your free throws. You have to get good shots. You have to sprint back in transition. You have to play hard, tough defense, and you have to defensive rebound. And obviously, you have to execute. So it's great. It'll be a great challenge for us. We'll have a great practice tomorrow morning. We'll travel up to College Park. We'll watch film again in College Park. We'll have shoot around Wednesday morning, and then tip it up at 7 p.m. Really exciting.
Like most Power 5 schools, they have length up and down the roster. It's going to be a different challenge for you guys because you're looking at 6'8", maybe out on the wing, and a guy like Donta Scott that's going to be guarding and not necessarily 6'3", 6'4". Is that a bigger challenge for you guys in what you try to do?
I don't think Power 5 exists in basketball because you're excluding Villanova and Gonzaga. So, yeah, they are big. I think we have size to match up with any team in the country. Blake Jones is 6'10", Malik Henry is 6'9", Josh Oduro is 6'10", Ticket 6'7". Our small forward is 6'7", Deshaun Schwartz. You know, we can, like I say, I don't think good basketball is fast nor slow. I don't think good basketball is big nor small. You know, I played on one of the smallest teams ever in the country, and we won 30 games. So we can go big, we can go small. I think we match up good with them. You know, I think obviously they have great talent and really excited for the opportunity on Wednesday.
You have guys, transfers from University of Colorado, Gaines obviously at Tennessee. Yeah. They've played in big atmospheres. They've played in big games. They've played ranked teams. Yeah. Do you lean on them a little bit more for maybe some of the guys who haven't played top 25 type teams before?
You know, I mean, the guys that are on the current team, you know, last I checked, they went into VCU last year and won. You know, yes, Deshaun Schwartz has won multiple games at Pauley Pavilion. Yes, Devontae Gaines has won multiple games at Rupp Arena. You know, our entire staff, but you know, these guys have all been on the road. They've won. They've played in hostile environments. It's really not about that. It's really about, because again, once the game starts, you really don't feel it. You really don't feel it unless it's one of those crazy waves of a 12-0 run. You can feel it at that timeout. It's loud. But, you know, it's about us doing what we know we have to do. You know, it's about our point guard taking care of the ball and guarding and getting us great shots and creating the shots that we want.
We'll talk to him about that here in a few minutes. David Houck from Twitter wanted to ask a couple questions. Ties in with the road game situation. What are your memories of your first road game as a player? And what are some of the best road atmospheres that you ever played in when you were at Missouri?
My first road game. My first true road game was at Nebraska, and we actually lost. One of the few times we lost to Nebraska in my career. It was a great environment. We lost. That actually led to me getting into the starting lineup, and actually started the rest of my career. Started the rest of that season. we ended up finishing third in the Big 12 that year, but started off with a road loss in league play. Didn't go on a true road in the non-conference.
Must be nice when you have that kind of schedule, right? You don't have to go on a true road game.
Yeah, it worked out. We always did every year after that, but it just worked out that year we didn't.
Right.
We played Illinois on a neutral site. We played USC. We played Xavier on neutral sites. But the best place, the best venue ever is Fog Allen Fieldhouse. The University of Kansas plays is, if you're a basketball fan, I think it's absolutely the place you need to go watch a college basketball game. They have it's where Dr. Naismith have the rules of the games are in Fog Allen Fieldhouse. So that's a phenomenal atmosphere, great atmosphere.
Obviously, as a player, you probably aren't able to necessarily sit there and concentrate on it, but when they do their rock chalk chant, that's got to be a pretty amazing feeling to sit in there. Not as a visiting player, I imagine you can't appreciate it.
You know why it's not good for a visiting player?
Because it's annoying, probably more than anything.
Because, so when you hear that song as a visiting player, that's their victory chant.
Right.
That means you lost. So it's kind of a goal to not hear it. And but no, you don't feel it at all. You as a player, you're locked in. Like you don't worry about that stuff. But when you get through playing and you think back to it, it was kind of cool. It is a great place. And I've gone back as a coach. I coached there at Tennessee 2 seasons ago. And it's just a spectacular place for college basketball. Eagle Bank Arena has a lot of similarities to Fog Allen Fieldhouse. It's a college basketball arena. Like, it's a place you want to come in jeans and have a brat and drink a beer and yell and sweat and be loud and be with your friends. Like, it's not a hoity-toity wine and cheese. It's a place you want to come and be loud. So our arena is one of my favorite things about Mason. I just absolutely love it.
All right, Friday, you're at James Madison, and I'm not sure if you've had much of a conversation with people about James Madison and George Mason. Obviously, years ago, people of a certain age and vintage will remember we were in the same conference together in the CAA. They're still there. They're moving on to the Sun Belt next year, but longtime rivals. This will be the 100th meeting between these two teams on Friday. It is the most played game in Mason history between these two teams. How much do you know about this rivalry?
Well, it's obviously a great rivalry. It's in the same state. They were in a inter-conference. I'm sure people, outsiders, probably get the names mixed up
all the time. Yeah.
Early revolutionary political figures. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited because just from afar, I remember they had a great new venue.
Yep.
I know they have a great basketball history, especially from a long time ago. I know in the more recent years, George Mason has caught up to that and obviously have been to Final Fours and then a new power league. But I love it. I love rivalries. I love it. And, for me, it was Missouri versus Illinois and Missouri-Kansas. They were border rivalries. The Missouri-Kansas rivalry dates back to the Civil War, and it's nasty. I will let our guys know about rivalry games. And for rivalry games, you can throw everything out of the window. You can throw records out of the window. You can throw how good they are, how bad we are, vice versa. It doesn't matter. If the kids on the court understand the rivalry and what it means, it's going to be a very well-played, hard-fought game. They have a really good coach. Coach Byington was at Georgia Southern, studying his Ken Pom sheet. They play to who he is. He's a defensive coach. He wants to force turnovers, play up tempo, and he's a really good ball coach.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He wants to, and people that have been around will remember he played at UNC Wilmington, again, a former CAA conference mate of George Mason. So some people will remember him as a player, but he wants to get up and down, and you guys play fast as well. So it's going to be a track meet on Friday.
Yeah, we have no problem playing for fast pace at all. If a team presses us, we're going to go and score. We're not trying to. We will never try to run offense against a pressing team. We will go and play advantage basketball, and I'm fine. I played for Mike Anderson, who played for Nolan Richardson. So I'm really comfortable playing that way. Like I said, I don't think good basketball is fast nor slow. We'll play. We'll play anyone, anywhere, any style.
You mentioned their new arena that they just opened up, and unfortunately for them last year, because of the COVID year, it was supposed to open up then and have a big celebration for them. They've opened it up. They won their game against Old Dominion, which again for them a former CAA rival as well. Is it fun to go to these new buildings and places and see what people are doing in different venues around the country?
Yeah, I love it. You know, I love it. I love it's just great for the game. I love true road games. You know, it's a great test for our group to see the resolve, to see our habits, to see how our standards and principles hold up. And we built this schedule because we want to accelerate how we get better. And I remember being a player, I said this last night, if you ask me if I'd rather be practicing or playing, I'd rather be playing, right? We have been practicing for a long time, and now we're playing games. And the challenge is, just like Morgan State, you know, we did not practice after Penn. We watched film, we got on the court, we walked through some stuff, we shot some free throws, we went through some offense, and it was all about recovery and their mental health and their readiness to get ready. So it's a new challenge, being able to take from not practicing to getting a game plan done. We'll see that challenge again. You know, we get done in College Park at the 9:30 on Wednesday night. We'll drive to Harrisonburg. We'll sleep in. We'll get up. We'll watch film. We'll get on the court around 5 p.m. Again, it'll be a lighter practice because they're going to have to play. But everyone on our team wants to play in the NBA. I explained to them what these next few days are like is what it would be like if you were the Chicago Bulls, right, and you played the New York Knicks on Monday, and you flew to Milwaukee on Tuesday because you had the Bucks on Wednesday in Milwaukee. You get done playing the Bucks and you take a bus 45 minutes to Chicago to play the San Antonio Spurs in the United Center. Like, that's what it's like. So, you know, if you want to play in that league, which is a longer game, 48 minutes versus our 40, it's a shorter shot clock, 24 versus our 30. Shot clock resets to 14 versus 20 after offensive rebounds. For 82 of those games to our 35, like, right, this is what it's like. So we got some older guys. You want to take that leap. Josh Aduro is an NBA player. Deshaun Schwartz has a chance. You want to take that leap? Let's do it. You know? And
that's even more so, and we won't talk necessarily about the teams, but going to South Dakota next week, where it's you fly out, you play Friday night, you fly out Saturday, and then you're playing 3 straight, which they don't do in the NBA anymore. But you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that you're going.
So you don't do that in the NBA, but we will have that in the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship. Right. So it's always things that we can lean on. You know, I won 2 Big 12 championships in college, and they were 1, 2, 3. And it's a great test for us to see how we, and again, I think college basketball is a microcosm of preparing for something later in the season. Now, next week in South Dakota, we'll be able to see how we can handle playing a game the next day and not having any practice. Right. Just being able to verbalize it in the ballroom, walking through. You tape down a basketball court on a ballroom floor. You get a towel from the room and we roll up tape. Maybe we'll have basketballs. So, but that's what we did when I was in college. We didn't have balls. We had to roll up a towel with tape and pass that around. But so it's a great test.
All right, very good. We are going to take a quick moment here as we get our special guest ready to go with us. First, though, we want to thank our sponsors once again, SN Mortgage Company. George Mason Basketball Coaches Show with Kim English is presented by SN Mortgage Company. SN Mortgage Company, start your journey home today. Security National Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. Company NMLS 3116. We'll be right back with our special guest, Xavier Johnson, here on the Kim English Show, live from Glory Days in Falls Church. Johnson right down the lane, got around Flowers, and he's fouled. Johnson now, top of the key, will launch and hit the 3.
got Johnson with him. He gives it to Johnson. Johnson all the way in, and it draws the foul.
Xavier Johnson to Javon Green. Green driving, kicks it out to Johnson, and for three, it's good.
Now Johnson drives, hangs, scores, and the foul at the top. Marr looking to hand off, backdoor cut, Johnson, it's good.
Johnson wants it cross court. Kolek sees him. X dials up the three. Bottom of the net, good.
Johnson drives all the way through, lays it up and in. And had the ball stolen. Johnson with only Crutcher to beat all the way in, lays it up and in.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here at Glory Days Grill in Falls Church-Builder, along with the head coach, Kim English, and our special guest, point guard Xavier Johnson, joining us tonight. X, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's an opportunity.
First thing I got to ask, and Coach, feel free to jump in anytime you want to correct or ask or anything. He's your guy, so.
I have a listening ear. I'll be listening.
Let me know first thing. I know a lot of people are asking about this. How's the health?
The health is good. This is the best I felt since I've been here. Thanks to Becca, thanks to Handy, and everybody else. My surgeries, everything like that. So.
As one of the guys that stayed when the new coaching change happened, how much did you feel as a point guard, and you're expected to be a leader on the floor, obviously, how much did you feel like, as an older guy as well, been around a couple years, that you needed to be kind of a solidifying force to bring the guys that were transferring in, mixing in with the guys that stayed, to kind of come together as a team back in the spring when the coaching change happened?
Just being there, I think guys wanted to know the experience, like what campus is like. I think just figuring out what the coaches are, what kind of guys that we had. I think that was a big factor in trying to get guys to stay and trying to make the new guys feel comfortable.
Did you lean on guys like Tickett and Schwartz because they had played for Coach English before, kind of say, what's this guy all about? What am I getting myself into? What kind of style? I mean, did they give you guys that stuck around any advice on that once they got to campus? Or
I didn't really get comfortable with Tickett and Deshaun until I got there, but I was definitely in touch with Josh a lot about Coach, and I heard some other things, some other good things about Coach coming in. So yeah.
3 games into the season here, Coach English, give me an evaluation of my man sitting next to me.
I actually gonna watch film with you tomorrow on the bus ride up to College Park. But I think he's been great. You know, in moments, he's been exactly what we've needed. You know, I've really found, and again, I'm learning on the fly, right? My first time being a head coach, standing up there, I just know that I really like when he's in the game. And he's playing 29 minutes a game, 29.4, I think. He's playing a lot of minutes. I like when he's in the game. You know, he's tough, he's physical, and he can get to the paint. And, you know, he's a good shooter, right? He works on his shot every day. I expect him to take and make open shots. But there's areas we can improve. And I got a lengthy edit for you tomorrow, actually, to watch some of those things on our bus ride up to College Park.
Fortunately, College Park's not that far of a drive, so maybe it won't be as bad. Hopefully there won't be a lot of traffic on 495. For your sake, it sounds like.
There'll be traffic. There'll be traffic.
You had a great game the other night. Came close to a double-double. Ended up with 9 rebounds.
Josh stole his.
I was going to say, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Late in the game, you're there for a rebound. All of a sudden, 6'10" comes over the top, snatches it from you. I see you laugh because you realize it was Josh that took it from you. When you got back to the locker room and started looking at the stat sheet, were you like, hey, man, that was number 10. Did you know that you were close to it?
I realized I was close, but I'm just worried about getting the win. I mean, me and Josh laughed about it, but we know it's not important. We just want to win, go out and play hard, so that's one of our goals. So it was funny at the time, but you know, we just wanted to win at the end of the day.
You coached him well not to worry about the individual stuff, because you know he wanted that 10th rebound,
No,
right?
I didn't even know until later in the game and looking at the stat sheet. I felt like he had a pretty good game all around. Like, I think he had 5 or 6 assists, and he was rebounding the ball. But yeah, no, that's good. You know, they honestly, they only see the stat sheets after they go to the post-game media, but obviously ESPN and app, they can see them all. But, you know, they really do understand what's most important. We don't have not a selfish guy on our team. Not even close. I've been around teams with selfish guys. I've had selfish teammates in the past. You know, we don't have one selfish guy on our team that's out there with any ulterior motive, and I think you can see it in the way they play.
Yeah.
It starts with me, right? They know I have no problems telling anyone if they did something that falls beneath our standard of toughness, competitiveness, work ethic, humility, and you know, unselfishness is a big part of that. And these guys really want to see each other have success, and I feel like they all celebrate each other's success. They're friends. They're all friends, so it's natural.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you're getting together as a team, especially, again, all the guys that you've had to blend together. You're leading the team with 15 assists on the year, averaging 5 a game. It must be nice to you when you look around and you see a guy like Josh who's got all those great post moves down low, and then you've got shooters everywhere on the floor with you at all times. You can basically walk in the gym and already have 3 assists just from the guys that are there. How much fun is it to just be able to dot and whoever's got the hot hand and get the ball to them?
I mean, it's definitely fun. I mean, I think it's just a testament to the work that we put in from the spring all the way up until now. And I'm just happy for those guys that are knocking down shots because I wouldn't average assists without them. So I'm really happy for them guys, definitely knocking down shots and doing the things that they're doing.
You didn't get an assist on it because it was a missed shot, but I thought, to me, watching you the last couple of years, again, you talk about the health, and this is the best you've ever felt. I think you've looked, health-wise, the best you've looked probably since early in your freshman year. And to me, the one thing that kind of did it was the Morgan State right before halftime yesterday, where you went the length of the floor, probably got fouled, maybe, missed the layup, but Malik's there to clean it up and threw it down. That's got to be, again, fun to have those guys that you weave through the defense like a cone drill, and they're there to clean it up when it didn't go down for you.
Exactly. Malik's taking big steps, and coaches realizing he's getting more minutes on the floor. He's just an energy guy off the court, and he's starting to bring in more on the court. So it's definitely fun to see him get minutes and bring energy to us like that than to have, because that's really big for us, going into the locker room, having that type of play and just coming out and setting the tone.
He also has a future as a politician because he didn't say anything about the missed layup.
I told him he got fouled. I was trying to be nice to him and said he might have got fouled on it. But I didn't see the film, so you'd have to give me the breakdown on that.
There's a testament to his health. I know his troubles he had with his knee. For me to call a timeout with 5 seconds and draw up a play for him to know that he can get to the rim in 5 seconds. And he tried to dunk it.
Is that what it was?
He tried to dunk it, which was, I left. I honestly, I didn't even see the dunk. I had left when I seen he tried to dunk it. He had an easy layup. And I don't know what came over his mind where he thought he could. He's had one dunk in practice since I've been here. One dunk. I can't believe he tried to dunk it. So, yeah.
We'll leave it there. We'll let you guys. You know what? You can fight with him on that, on the bus ride to College Park after the breakdown tomorrow.
Yeah. It's on there. It's on there.
Question for you from Twitter. They want to get your unique perspective and what makes playing for Coach English so special.
Honestly, started with our first phone call. He was really honest with me. I just asked him if he was going to give me a fair shot, and he said yeah. And then just his experience. He's won championships in college. He's been to the NBA, which is that type of guy that you can bring it into the program. Everybody wants the same success, and just his experience on every type of level is just something that we respect, and just is taken to. We just take into what we do every day, and we chase after that. We play hard, and we know what to expect.
Were you on the floor when he got his warning yesterday?
I think I was.
Did you hear the conversation? Because he was you talk about being a politician. He was like, no, that was fine. He just thought Josh was getting fouled too much. So he was very nice to the officials, called him sir, the whole thing. Is that pretty accurate?
I honestly wasn't paying attention, but I did see him on the court. But he's just passionate for us. Like, he's gonna tell refs if we're getting fouled and everything like that. So he's just ready to go to war for us, and we're ready to go to war for him. That's why we're playing so hard.
How much fun is it? You played last year, obviously under COVID, and you can only have 250 people in the arena. And sometimes when you went on the road, there wasn't anybody in the arena, depending on what it was. How much fun is it to have because you were here as a freshman, so you had the green machine, you had the fans and the atmosphere and the students. How much more fun is that now with them back after these first 3 games?
It's a lot of fun. The student section is really packed. The fans are there. It just gives us a lot of energy. Like, I start to get chills. Like when plays are happening, it's just a great feeling to hear them supporting us, and just gives us an extra gear, extra drive to just go out and keep it going.
I don't know if you went and talked to the DJ that plays the starting lineup music or not, but X is going to get you. Is the song that they play, is that you getting to do that? I mean, did you go over there, hey, give me, that's kind of my song, or how'd that work out?
Becca's kind of messed with me about that song since I've been here, but I had nothing to do with that. I honestly didn't hear it until you.
You don't hear it during. You're right. They tune everything out.
X gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you. X gonna give it to you. DMX.
You don't hear it during the warm-ups, really?
I honestly didn't hear it.
Okay, you have to pay attention for starting lineups next time around. That's the song they hit you with. All right, Friday, we got a game Wednesday. We don't want to gloss over Maryland or anything, but we were talking a little bit early about rivalry games. James Madison coming up on Friday. Do you talk to, again, as a guy who played them as a freshman, do you talk to the other guys to let them know, guys that have come in, Gaines coming from Tennessee's never played before, Schwartz, Cooper, all these guys. Do you talk to them about, this is a big deal? Obviously Maryland first. We're not trying to gloss over that, but when you get to JMU, will you let them know how big of a game that is for Mason?
Well, obviously every game is a big game for us. Every day, we just want to go out and win, play the hardest we can. So we don't take anything lightly, no matter if it's a rival or non-rival. We just want to go out and win and play as hard as we can. So that's the main goal every time.
How much fun has it been to get all these different guys from different programs, different places, and be able to blend them into, again, you guys win your first 3 games of the season by 20-plus points, and see all the work that you put in from spring, summer, fall come to fruition and have such a great start?
It's really a lot of fun, and I'm really happy for those guys. The only thing we wanted to do is just hang out as a team a lot more, just to build our bond, because we knew we had a lot of different guys coming in. So that's the main thing, and it just carries on to the court. I think that's why we're so happy for each other's success. Why we work so hard, we believe in each other, we trust each other, and we just play hard for one another. So that's the main thing.
Had another question from the Twitter folks out there. Your younger brother is playing college basketball as well. Have you been able to keep up with him? How is he doing? How's everything with the family?
I've caught every game he's played in. It's crazy. It makes me sad. We were just playing together in high school, and to see him out there in the court, he actually got his first start last game. So it's just crazy to watch. I'm happy for him. He's going to get better. He's starting to get used to it, get his feet under him. So I'm definitely happy for him.
How much do you guys talk day to day on basketball life or anything? He's down in Florida, right?
Yeah, he's down in Florida.
So obviously you're not seeing him every day like you would if you guys were playing together in high school, but how much are you able to talk and keep up with him? And because again, the life of a college athlete is pretty hectic at times.
Yeah, we try to talk almost every day. He's telling me what I need to do better. I'm telling him what he needs to do better. But yeah, that's really like my best friend.
What did he tell you could do better?
He told me I could be a little more aggressive, get in the paint, be more solid, stop turning the ball over, like you said.
Smart.
He's a smart dude. So he's told me things like that.
Too bad his dad's the coach. He probably won't want to transfer. He ain't going to leave his dad.
Yeah, talk about that with your dad being a coach. And sometimes, sons, daughters, if their father, mother, whoever it is a coach, sometimes that's great for them. They want to be pushed. They want to do that. Other times, they don't want mom or dad telling them anything at all. What were you like growing up with dad as a coach? Was it like, Dad, I got this, I know what I'm doing? Or did you kind of feed in and wanting to be in the gym all the time when you were 5, 6 years old and hanging out with his teams or whatever it was?
Well, he put the ball in my hand when I was 2 years old, and he actually coached me all the way up until 8th grade until I went to high school. So I'm not gonna lie, it was rough having a dad as a coach. He's always on me. He's real tough. I would say that. And it drove me crazy at times. I didn't like it. I didn't want to hear what he had to say. But it got to a point where I got older. I understood where he was coming from, and I started to just love it and kind of just take coaching. I think it's kind of the way I am now, why I'm so tough, just because the way he was. And I may give Coach a little whatever hand sign at times.
You've gotten better at that. X's body language is one of the biggest improvements since he's gotten here. He used to have a little that used to drive me insane, and we went through like a little month period where every time he gave me he had to run in practice, and he magically stopped. It went away.
Amazing, right?
It's fascinating. But we were talking about that the other day. His body language has, and I think it's allowed him to focus on the next play. and he's been making great plays. I mean, just think about the clip in practice where you turned it over that one time and you didn't run back, right? When I paused it, and I didn't even care about the turnover. I cared about you running. But the other day in the game against Penn, the back tip. Think about that difference from that practice to that game. And that, I mean, if you have the vision in my mind like I do, it's what I talk about. Like we're just here trying to focus on growth, and he's grown tremendously from watching him on film last season to our spring practices to the summer to the fall. He's just continually gotten better, and I still think he's only scratching the surface. Like it's scary how good X will be as this season continues on.
Can you tell in his game, if you watched, and I don't know how when you found out, you probably knew his dad in the coaching ranks. Does he look like a coach's son on the floor when he does certain things? Can you see that in him at all?
Yeah, he does. He does. I've never thought of it that way, but he does. He does. He obviously knows the game. He knows what he's supposed to do. He accepts the challenge. You can tell he's been around the game for a long time. And probably the biggest way you can tell with X is, and this is a huge compliment on this team, on any team that I'm going to be the coach of, we're going to have 13 scholarship guys that work at the 1% of the top 1% of college basketball teams. Our guys work. They spend a lot of times in the gym working on our game. Kathy McKay Court, our beautiful practice facility. He's probably at the top of the list on our team. He's 1, 2, 3, any order, and that's probably the biggest way that shows that he's the kid of a coach, is that he lives in the gym.
You hear that type of stuff, and he's obviously, as a head coach, he's going to have to be critical at times because he's trying to make you better. When you have those conversations with him, what's your process of taking the information and then putting it to work on the court?
I think it's major. We sat in the office after I came back. He gave me 4 things to do, and I think that's really what I'm trying to do on the court. And just not thinking about I'm trying to play hard, I'm trying to rebound, I'm trying to be a better organizer as a point guard and lose my cool, as he would say. So I think that's my main focus, is just taking what he's saying, trying to rebound the ball better. I'm in the low 70s right now. I'm trying to get higher doing that, trying to be a better organizer, take care of the ball. So everything he says, I do try to take into my mind and just try to lock in on whatever he's saying.
So he's been able to evaluate you. He's 3 games into his coaching career. You're a guy who's been around to coach for a long time. Let me know, 3 games in, how's he doing?
He's doing phenomenal. I don't really have any words for him. It's just great to see him come in and just change his program around so far. He's never satisfied though. I think that's the main thing. He's gonna criticize us to the littlest point because he knows he's thinking about the long term. He's never focused on that just one game. He's gonna watch film. He's gonna let us know we need to do better.
You think every once in a while he could, though, stop and kind of enjoy it? I saw the film of him, you guys dumping the water after victory number 1. He didn't want anything to do with that. You should be all in, right? Celebrating with the team. You guys had to drag him into the locker room.
I do enjoy. I really do enjoy when they're playing well. I really do enjoy. I mean, he knows I don't think they've ever had a coach in their lives that encouraged them to shoot the ball as much as I do.
Right.
Like I empower them, and I do love it. I love to see, I got on those guys last night when they checked out of the game, when their younger teammates were in. I think Malik took a charge.
Yep.
And I enjoy seeing them be the first ones out to meet those guys, because for most of the game, it's the other way around.
Right.
It's the young guys on the bench, and they're out there having a grand old time making threes and alley-oops, and the young guys are meeting them. So I enjoy that, right? I enjoy I didn't know this. Our team is incredibly covered. Mark LaFrance, Jacob Bear, Bill Bride, all the photographers and videographers that shoot us and kick out content. I get to see a lot of it on social media. I love seeing pictures when they're smiling. I never knew I liked that or that was a thing, but as I'm looking at game when I've seen so many pictures of them smiling in the game, and I enjoy that. So, the things I enjoy are momentary, I guess, but No, I love seeing them play well and execute, and you know, when they're just raining threes and when they're getting consecutive stops after stop after stop. I love it. I really do.
That's a great place to finish it up. X, appreciate you coming out. Good luck Wednesday. Good luck Friday, the rest of the seaseason. Mason fans, 3-0, 3 straight wins at home. They'll be on the road here coming up. We'll be back at Eagle Bank in December, so if you want to get tickets, come rock with us. Season tickets, mini plans, individual game tickets available now. Call the Mason ticket office at 703-993-3270 or visit gomason.com for more information. Maryland coming up on Wednesday on the road, James Madison on Friday, and then out the Crossover Classic in South Dakota for Thanksgiving week. Coach, thank you. As always, we appreciate it. X, again, thank you for coming out. Thanks, everybody here at Glory Days and everybody that watched at home. Bill Rohland saying thanks for checking us out. We'll be back in 2 weeks right here at Glory Days Grill. Thanks for watching.
Woo!